Hello everyone and welcome back to Headlocks and Hot Packs. Thank you for tuning in for our Sunday evening episode. Hopefully everyone has had a great weekend. If you went out to any antique stores or card shops or flea markets, if they're still happening in your neck of the woods, hopefully you found some cool things. Today we are going to be checking out some more basketball cards. I've got an eBay purchase here which has shown up, so we will take a look at that right now as we pan down. This is the 1991 Classic Draft Pick set. This is a sealed set, came in this case, and you can see, I'll show the front here. On front we have the #1 overall pick that year, Larry Johnson, went to the Charlotte Hornets, won a national championship at UNLV. You can see we still got the tape on the side here, and then on the back, certification of limited edition. I don't know why I said it that way. So this is set number 130820 of 450,000. Not sure that really makes it that limited, but again, this was an eBay pickup. I like getting complete sets along with collecting Celtics and rookies and relics and autos. The usual stuff that most people, most collectors are after. But I do like getting sets. This is not going to remain sealed, obviously. We're going to be checking these out, and then, as you know, I like to put my sets in binders, just because sometimes you might want to go and just kind of look at them, check them out, admire them a little bit. And that's much easier to do when you put them in a binder as opposed to putting them in a box. So I've got my handy dandy utility knife here, and away we go. She's no longer sealed. First time this has ever been popped open. And these, as you can tell, they are still encased in plastic here. And here's our checklist, kind of stuck in there. Let's see if I can't work that out of there. There we go. Save that for something else. And we'll look at the checklist first. So we've got all the stars of the 91 NBA draft. Yeah, of course, you got Larry Johnson, Mutombo, Terrell Brandon, Greg Anthony, Dale Davis had a good career. Rick Fox is a Celtic. And who else do we got? So a lot of names that I recognize, trying to pick up on. Another Larry Johnson there. Isaac Austin, I remember him. He spent some time with the Utah. And then, of course, Bobby Phills, Richard Dumas. So as you can see, this is a 50 card set. So not a large set, so of course this will be a shorter video, and need to figure out a way to attack this without nicking the cards. Very, very, very carefully there with my utility blade. Try to put a small, just a small little something that I can grab onto and tear at, because I do not really have any fingernails. I think we got her here. So one thing we may have to worry about here is if the front of these cards are glossy, which if I'm remembering correctly, they are. We may have some sticking here, and this might be a brick. Yeah, that peeled off there. So, and these are definitely stuck together. So let's move this over here. Let's pan down a little bit more there. And so ever so carefully, we are going to pull these apart. And there's Larry Johnson, and that actually pulled apart pretty good. No paper loss there. And here's a look at the back. Weaknesses: scoring off the dribble, drafted number 1 by Charlotte. Card number 1, and made by Classic Games in 1991. Very carefully again. And there we see, these are not in number order, so I will have to go back and do that. Joe Wiley, drafted by the Clippers. I'm trying to get these apart without ruining anything, but also in a bit of a timely manner. Dikembe Mutombo, the number 4 overall pick to the Denver Nuggets. And we have Mark Macon. Mark Macon would also wind up with the Nuggets, and he is really stuck. Oh, there we go. Just had to pull from a different part. So there's Mark Macon. Brian Williams. Some of you may remember him from his time with the Denver Nuggets, and he also was with the Chicago Bulls in the late 90s. Chad Gallagher went to Phoenix. Remember in our 91 Star Picks video, had a lot of guys that I had no clue who they were, including Chad Gallagher, if I'm even saying his name correctly. These ones are so stuck. There we go. Luckily, if anything is ruined, I only paid $4 for this, so pretty good deal. Yeah, they're coming apart pretty well. I mean, some of them feel they're definitely stuck. You can see they're not coming apart here, but there has been no paper loss on any of these, despite the crinkling sound or crackling sound that you're hearing. Or maybe you're not hearing it over the sound of the air conditioner. But they are pulling apart just fine. No damage whatsoever to the cards. It's definitely an issue if you're buying older cards, especially from the mid, or well, even some in the early 90s, obviously, because this is 91. So pretty much the 90s. You gotta really be careful. I know I've had issues with 93, 94 Upper Deck before. And I've also had issues with 94, 95 Stadium Club. There's the Rick Fox. And I believe also 93, 94 Stadium Club. Pretty much any of those, 94, 95 Tops. I believe 95, 96 Fleer is, you might have a problem. There's a cool shot of Randy Brown there. He was a Sacramento King, and then, of course, spent time with the Chicago Bulls in the late 90s. There is the Isaac Austin, the Utah Jazz. Greg Sutton. Yeah, we have Joey Wright. And Anthony Jones. I believe that's Oral Roberts University. It is. Vaughn McDade. That was another name that I did not recognize from the 91 Pro Prospects set. He apparently went to New Jersey. Billy Owens. Of course, a lot of people will remember Billy Owens as being the man that the Warriors traded Mitch Richmond for. Billy Owens was drafted by the Sacramento Kings, 3rd overall, as you can see on the back of the card there, and then was shipped off to Golden State as the Warriors broke up Run TMC, which of course was Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and Mitch Richmond. So that trade, of course, did not really work out for Golden State. Owen spent, let's say, 3 or 4 years there. And then also spent some time with the Miami Heat. And then I believe that was his last team, as far as I can remember. Anderson Hunt. Notice on a lot of guys from free agent. That 91 UNLV Runnin' Rebels team. Of course, as I mentioned, they won the national championship. Powered by Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, and others. Those are the most notable of that championship team, however. Stacey Augmon went to the Atlanta Hawks in this same draft. The number 2 overall pick, I believe. There's Stanley Roberts, college teammate of Shaquille O'Neal. We've done well so far. Has not been any damage to any of these cards. It's just a matter of getting them to pull apart. Oh, that might have hurt us there. If everybody heard that crack. Let's see what we got. And Terrell Brandon looks good. Not Terrell Brandon looks good, but the card is in good shape. Another UNLV guy, Greg Anthony. Forgot about him. Don't know how I forgot about him. New York Knicks, and has been a analyst for a very long time now. Tony Farmer. I believe that was the number 50 card. And it was. Another Tar Heel here, Pete Chilcutt. And another man who went to Sacramento. Anybody who's bought glossy 90s cards, I'm sure is feeling my struggle right now. Kevin Lynch wind up with the Charlotte Hornets. Donald Hodge was a Dallas Maverick. Still taking it slow as I throw Kevin Lynch across the table. And the Dale Davis, another guy who had a really good career. Was an enforcer type almost for the Indiana Pacers. Alright, well, the back one's going to come off. Kevin Brooks. Here we are. Pretty much with these, it's just a matter of me finding a part of the card that I can actually kind of grab onto a little bit without damaging it. I mean, a lot of people, some people know some technique where you kind of like push and bend a little bit, and it's supposed to work. I know sometimes when cards are bricked up, people will toss them in a freezer. I've heard of people putting them in the microwave. But personally, I prefer to just kind of do this and take it slow. Because, one, I don't know those methods. And two, I've actually never really had an issue doing this with, I mean, you know, some people will just take and bend, but there is like a small way to do it where you go around the whole card. If you do it just, you know, in big chunks, that's when you really can get the paper loss. And here's our final 2 cards of the set. And there's Anthony Avent. And I want to check out the back of this because I couldn't remember. So he actually was drafted by Atlanta, if you remember from the 91 Pro Prospects episode last week, I think. I couldn't remember if he was drafted by Orlando and traded to Milwaukee, or the other way around, or somehow he ended up with both of those teams. And then the final card, the Gatling gun, Chris Gatling, drafted by the Golden State Warriors. So a pretty basic set, obviously, not too much to write home about, but if you collect sets, you can definitely find these on eBay for, like I said, I paid, I think it was close to $4. It might have been $4.50. But at least you got to get a glimpse of what you would be in store for, with having the cards all bricked up. And as you can see, now that we've pulled them apart, they're sliding perfectly. And as you can see in the reflection there, was no issue pulling them apart, no damage, no paper loss. So they all turned out very well. So I'm happy with this purchase. Again, a cheap set, but a set nonetheless, and something cool to add to my collection. I don't believe... I had a few of these cards when I was a kid, but I definitely never had the entire set before. So I'm happy with that. I would not have been happy if I couldn't get them apart, but that was not the case. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Headlocks and Hot Packs. Again, whether that be on YouTube or thechairshot.com. If you are watching on thechairshot.com, please go ahead and head over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. And even if you're watching on YouTube and haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that for me. We would really appreciate it. More subscribers means more cool things coming to the channel. So, of course, we'll be back on Wednesday for Way Back Wednesday. So, take care, have a good work week, and we will see you in a couple of days.